let me give you a different outlook on how your ego makes you not being you. Let's go. Just be yourself. Most common advice we probably ever heard. The question is what to do to actually be yourself. Well, during the challengings I have attended, one of the really important messages was that the more you can actually be yourself, the positive version of yourself, which is actually your most true core self, the better you will have in this life and the better you will feel. So now we need to ask ourselves how to understand the division between being yourself and not being yourself. So we have this thing in ourselves called ego. There are different definitions of how we can understand what ego is, but the definition that I've learned is that ego is this thing, this patterns, this voice, this energy that tries to push you in certain decisions. And these decisions are limiting yourself, being fearful, not being able to actually pursue what you would like to do from the positive things, okay? Because the things that are driving you towards negativity are not really your true natural positive self. And once you realize that your true power is being controlled by some force internally with you, you can start to slowly realize that you can control it, you can shift it, you can influence it. And I know what you might be thinking, that you have absolutely no idea how to influence it. You have absolutely no idea how to control it. And you might be in that place currently. But believe me when I say that taking one step at a time will bring you closer to actually starting to feel and basically become back more of yourself. It's a process, it takes time, and it's maybe even an ending journey. It's a journey towards within, towards realization of who you truly are. So how do we actually work with ego? So I'm going to share one way in this video. There are many ways that I could talk about, but let's focus on one. And one way is to not give into the negative self-talk about yourself. So if you feel that you start this negative self-talk and indoctrination into beliefs that you are worse, that you are not good enough, you can actually start to notice that these thought patterns are kind of happening because at the very bottom line, you have this victim mentality in yourself that you want to prove to yourself that you actually are worse. And this is not accepting the fact that we're all equal, to having equal chances internally. Obviously, there are different circumstances that we can be born into, but internally, we have our capabilities and we're all equal. And if you realize that, you can start to regain your own power back. And you need to start to notice the negative self talk about yourself, observe it. And once you see it, you can start to slowly shift it towards positive. And don't make it forceful. Do not try to forcefully think positive because it can actually be a bit hurtful, not real for you. But ask yourself what's real now that you actually think is good about you. Just it can be a small thing. And try to replace any negative self-talk with these positive little things that you see are truthful positive about you. Just catch yourself during this negative self-talk and replace it with small truthful positive thoughts about yourself. You don't need to jump into I'm all good, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna do everything, whatever, right? When you are in a heavy negative emotional state, it might be just too much. But if you slowly go and try to relax into thinking of positive thoughts, but the ones that are truthful to you, this is the way. Start small, and once you get into the rhythm, once you start changing, once the ego stops having such a strong grip on your negative self-talk, then you will slowly start to think that you can actually see the more powerful positive about you, and you can use them as a truthful version to switch. So I'm gonna leave this one with you guys. What's your negative self-talk, and what is the small truths that are positive about you that you actually can work with? Find these and start changing now. Thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson about ego, being yourself, and how you can combat this negative self-talk internally. Cheers.